All right, we're in there. You guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Here today we have the 501st Falcons against the 34th IS Ducks for the tiebreaker for first place. So, winner of this match determines who's going to go on and get a better seed in the bracket for this weekend. With that, the 501st Falcons did show up a little bit late, so they're going to lose one ban, unfortunately. But otherwise, we're here in the draft. I have with me today Goodwin, the forever sub for the league, and then Lunch
Hello.
Lady as well.
Yeah, and it looks like 501st they're going to choose to lose their fourth ban, so it's the first ban after the second round of bans.
So it looks like right away they're taking away the Viego from no title. He is a Viego Briar 2 trick. They're not going to let the Viego through. And then a Lucian ban is interesting because I know the 34th has kind of stuck to that Swain APC bot lane.
Yeah,
Um,
it was initially the Ash Zyra almost every single game, and then
right.
that started getting banned out. And yeah, it was just they just started transitioning to the Swain. So I haven't seen the Lucian from them either. Curious what that is aimed at.
And
But
then LeBlanc could be a good pick into Bandle City. Band likes to play the Zerath, Heimerdinger, Talon. And maybe how we feeling the mid laner. Maybe he's on LeBlanc recently. I'm not sure, and a
Yeah,
Soraka ban as well.
he's been itching to play LeBlanc in play, so they're not
Uh
letting
huh.
him take it.
yeah, and then I know there's support as well. A Soraka one trick. I know this is not his only champ, but definitely his most played by far. So um, makes sense
Is
there.
that and then Jin? Okay, interesting bans against the ADC here. I wonder what their thought process is.
Yeah, I haven't seen the AD carry from the Ducks get targeted at all this league. So I'm curious to see uh, what those are aimed at. Again, he's been playing a majority Ash and Swain, so those aren't even picks I think
Right.
aimed at his primary um, champion. So curious to see what that is. And then Sejuani obviously coming in for Sejuani's flail. It's in its
Of
name.
course.
It's the most picks. So
Yeah, 501st must be very willing to play into the Swain pick
Uh huh.
because 34th has played it quite successfully the last few games.
ooh,
Yep, and it looks like we have Kraken in the bot lane, and he is probably, you know, more than comfortable to deal with this lane because it's not impossible to do. And then, yeah, Briar first pick, so ban Viego, take Briar. What is no title going to play? Maybe Vi is what he's stuck to when his two champions have been stolen. Banned or picked, he usually goes Vi. The Zyra pick is nice. We like to see blue stun on his Zyra. Maybe Zyra Ash here.
Yeah, that's another effect of banning out 280 carries is that Zyra gets through.
Yep.
yeah, the Ban Viego pick Briar is definitely something that we're going to have to see. We're probably going to see a little bit more too in the when Fearless comes this weekend because again the jungler doesn't have a lot of picks to pull out of his hat on the Duck side. But again, Vi is that third pick, generally what he plays when the other two are down, and looks like what he's playing today. So they should know that on the Falcon side though. So I'm curious if they've prepped anything. Obviously, Vi is a like one theme champ. She doesn't have a lot of different modes. Like she doesn't play Peel
Yep.
or anything else. It's just hard engage. So I'm wondering if they've prepped and see Ezreal already coming out. So maybe a little bit of Peel and Poke. Briar unfortunately doesn't really do any of that either, but
Yeah.
they could just kind of ignore Briar and make the rest of their comp around um, some Peel and Poke. We'll see.
Yeah, it looks like Praxidium's OPGG, two most recent games, Jin and Lucian. And outside of that, he doesn't play much, so maybe, um, yeah, it's an interesting band still. Even looking at the OPGG, not sure why they did that. And we're Morgana support.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they're thematically going anti-Vi here, anti-engage. But I wouldn't be surprised. And it's funny that both Briar and Vi are hard engage champs, but again, Zyra is very defensive, peeling
Yep.
champ. Ezreal and Morgana are that way.
Yep.
So maybe it's just going to be the junglers here for both team comps that are hard engaging. But
I
And
would
there's
have
that
liked to see a
Mundo.
Lulu support, but maybe into the Swain, they kind of, they're letting the Swain through, and maybe Morgana Ezreal is exactly what they want into the Swain. And then Mundo for Frost Breath.
yeah, he's been doing good
That's
on it.
definitely a comfort pick for Frostbeth there, that Dr. Mundo. I do think that the Morgana pick, in theory, it works really well, but it does not prevent the Vi from getting on that back line. It stops the CC, but the damage is still going to be coming through. So we'll have to see how that gets played.
Yep.
Yeah, and Mundo I do think is really good into the kite. As soon as he gets his heart steal and the Warmogs, he basically just shakes off any damage that people throw at him. So I think
And
it's
there's
a good
the
pick, but
Yeah, it is a good pick. And the ADC's already out. That's typically who you want to use to kill Mundo, and Ezreal is not the most efficient. He's very item dependent, and right away he's not going to do too much to Mundo. And then Aatrox and Gwen bans with the Mundo picked.
yeah,
I know Yubi was talking about blind picking Aatrox just for fun, just a gentleman's agreement. Looks like they're not totally gonna ban it away from him.
yeah. There's still some counter picks that are good into Mundo, but I do think that those are the primary two that are picked almost across the board, and they're also played heavily by Yubi. So I think that picking the Mundo and then banning out his two most prominent counter picks is really good
Yeah.
strategy for them. And it's also probably going to let them counter pick mid lane here as well. If they just pick 80 carry on 4, they'll also get counter pick for mid lane here. So I think it's a pretty solid game plan right now in draft. But I'm curious
I'm
to
not
see.
sure if it was pointed out, but that Yumi ban is not actually a Yumi ban. In
Yeah,
case
yeah.
it wanted
Yeah.
to get picked up in one of the off rolls, since both supports have likely already been selected.
Syndra, this is out. This is not too out of the blue. It's in his match history, but Bandle City Bandit has only stuck to Zerath, Heimerdinger, and Talon in these games. And I think they wanted the Talon out of the way because he does kind of synergize with the chase from Vi and Mundo. Maybe that's why they wanted it out of the way. And then I was expecting him to do Heimerdinger or Zerath here, but the Syndra, I like to see him trying something else out. And then a Cho'Gath, some beefiness to kind of keep up with the Mundo.
Interesting. I'm curious if
That might be a Cho'Gath mid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think Cho'Gath does really well into Syndra. I think in general Cho'Gath does very well into any immobile mages, just because he can shake off most damage by eating the wave, and then his pop-up is that much more dangerous if you don't have flash. But it still could go top. I don't know how that matchup really is, but yeah, it looks like they are going with a Camille, which I think trades pretty well into Mundo, but I want to say it's a skill matchup. Whoever gets ahead, I think, kind of runs over that lane. I think it probably in the extreme late game, Camille's going to take over, but up until that point, it's probably going to be whoever gets a good lead. But it does look like Syndra's 80 carry. So
That's right.
We have Heimer mid lane, Syndra, Zyra bot, Mundo in the top lane, Vi in the jungle. So I said this last time about the Ducks comp. They are super magic damage heavy. Their only AD comes from Vi and Mundo, and so I'm curious if I was the Falcons, I'd be building MR like crazy, but
Yep, obviously. Looks like Ezreal, Briar. I'm just wondering how they're going to deal with this Mundo. Maybe some Orc on Briar, and a little bit of slows from Ezreal's poke.
You don't have the heart for this.
yeah.
But Heimerdinger, I think Heimerdinger is mostly successful in the hands of Battle City Bandit whenever the enemy team just kind of walks into him. And they don't really have a too heavy walk into comp. Obviously Camille and Briar do press that W key a lot, but it's a really playing back and counter engage with Cho'Gath, Morgana, and Ezreal's mobility.
Yeah, I don't know, it's strange to me. The Cho'Gath and Camille are, again, they're really mid-range champs, and so I think they will get, I mean, they're going to get chunked down by turrets pretty heavily, but Morgana and Ezreal are just going to be, they're going to be too far away to ever really have that be an issue. But yeah, I see very little openings for Briar to be effective this game. I think Heimer is really good into Briar. I think Syndra as well.
Yeah.
Mundo, Vi. Vi is the only one that really isn't that great, but even then, I think with her comp, yeah, I just don't see a lot of openings for Briar to really do too much in this game. So curious how Sejuani's Flail plays that out. Otherwise, yeah, what do you think, Punch Lady? Which team comp would you prefer to be on? Do you pick?
I think the 34 IS definitely has a stronger comp in this situation, but I will say if Sejuani's Flail can be patient on the Briar, I think there will be openings. Like once the Vi engages, the 34 with IS will be spread out enough to where the Briar can get a counter engage off. So I think, yeah, if there's enough patience on the side of the 501st, they'll find their openings. And then it'll just be who can outplay the team fight.
Okay. Well, with that, I think I'm gonna transition to going into spectator mode. Unless you guys have anything else.
Nothing here.
No. All right. Well, then we'll see you guys in a bit. Be right back. All right, we should be in game now. You guys see everything good?
Yep.
All right. So here it looks like the 34th is just going for a typical 5-point kind of a defensive opening, while the 501st
30 seconds until minions spawn.
is either looking for an invade or
Yeah, they're looking for somebody to step up and get that aggressive ward. That the chickens, as they like to say, that's a really valuable ward in the early game. So I think they're trying to lay low and see if they can catch somebody stepping up early.
If they do have a nasty level 1 jungle fight with Morgana and Cho'Gath. It's like a Zyra ward here.
And Lustan's
that is
sniffed it out.
Yep.
Currently most damage in the game, like 200 damage.
And just like that, everybody goes back to business as usual. And we get our standard no-leash jungle starts. Glad to see the junglers on both teams put their big boy pants on.
More than the diagram.
Yeah, looks like Heimer's putting pretty hard in mid. Cho'Gath's not even contesting that wave.
It's a highly anticipated top lane matchup. Yubi Frost Breath. Might as well be Shen and Zed up there. Two arch nemesis.
Yeah, I expect UB to go for a lot of early trades. It'll be interesting to see how those pan out if he can whittle away at the Mundo.
Level 2 Prio. Nice dodge, still a lot of damage. Ezreal is very aggressive.
Yeah, if that Morgana Q lands, it might.
Ooh, last Q. Yeah, I have high expectations for Kraken in the bot lane. He's very comfortable down there.
Especially on Ezreal, I think there's been a lot of Ezreal games played in the last few weeks.
Mid is still very obnoxious.
Here. It's like Sejuani's Flail is looking for something.
Ooh, it's a lot of damage on the Cho'Gath.
And the UB's coming down as well. Let's see how Bandle City can navigate this.
3-man.
It's unfortunate flash from how he's feeling afterwards,
Yeah,
but that's a really good
Yep.
start. Him getting that relief of pressure is really good because he's low on health already. It was low on mana, and it could have just gotten out of control. So,
Yep, and it's like you said, you know, he didn't contest that first wave, and it was all part of the plan. I mean, both teammates rotated right there. He couldn't help but push. Still a cat fight in the bot lane.
UB also doesn't lose too much top. He's just gonna, I mean, hopefully he doesn't trade here too hard. I was gonna say he should take this entire wave at tower at the time, but he might just go here.
The ghost from Mundo ignite. Oh!
Prospect there.
And looks
That
like the
would've
Briar
been
was
a
there.
Huge W for Frost Breath, but now it's the exact opposite. Now he gets the entire wave, he gets the kill, and he already had the gank mid. That's just really positive for UB.
Yeah, UB put a lot of work into letting that wave build up and crash so he could farm under turret, and it ended up paying off in double.
Beautiful shield
look
from
at that.
Morgana. Exhaust. He's done for. Let's see if there's a root here. Zyra still has flash. Nice. Gets away.
You could tell that was a coordinated
That
dive
shield
in,
there.
because he put the shield on preemptively. Syndra tried to E afterwards, but obviously with the shield on, she couldn't do anything. So it was a really good play in the bot lane. Still full summoners versus both of them being gone on blue stun. So likely they can just do this again on repeat. Honestly, I think the bot lane.
Yeah, UB really needs to get this wave crashing, and I don't think he's gonna get it. He was really trying to get that wave to crash into the turret so he could back and reset, and it wasn't in the cards. He needed a couple more seconds.
Yeah, I don't think this is freezable. I think we can have to, and another death in the mid lane. I think we're gonna need to see No Title doing a little bit of vision scouting on Briar and some counter ganks, because right now it's all Sejuani's flail. It's just kind of been everywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of the perils of the upside of Heimer mid is he can be oppressive. He can shove in and limit CSing by the Shogoth, but he's so gankable.
Yeah. Preferably though, you would get a decent counter gank in, and then with Heimer's, with the amount of damage that Heimer does against people that are going into him, if you get a good counter gank in, I think it really helps. But
Yeah, and
They do
not,
need-
you need
he
vision.
didn't even need a counter gank. He just needed Vi to hover a little bit, just show so that presence is there, and that will eliminate that gank.
We didn't see it on screen there, but Briar did start break up and Vi had pressured it off. So good play by No Title there. We see a flash.
junglers
engage,
down bot.
Get another preemptive Morgana shield.
No subs for the enemy bot. The red team bot.
Briar E
That was a
there,
5 flash.
stopping all of the damage from the Briar Q, or from the Vi Q. I don't know who wins this, but I think Emil still has her ignite and was holding on to it there. So if Prosper tries to dive again,
Well, those two tower
He might
hits are brutal.
yeah,
On top of him.
I think he's gonna have to recall here. Yeah, he's recalling the top lane. Briar restarting drag. I think that Zyra's gonna spot her out here. I don't know how low the drag is. I'll try and hover down there. 15k.
Oh,
I think she might get it, but it might be for her death. She has another W, she can take it the wall, but
Nice steal from No
Title.
Title there.
great job, Larry, coming
Yeah.
in for the last hit.
I think it's unfortunate. I think it was a solid play in the beginning, and then I think he just got greedy because he was already there. He didn't want to have to throw away the time he kind of spent doing it in the first place.
Yeah, it's a good job by the 34th to punish Briar's earlier flash for that bot side engage. They knew she couldn't get out of the pit without committing to dragons, so
Yeah.
good job there.
And I think if Sejuani Tail would have just gotten the Drake and died, it would have been okay. I think that's what he was trying to do. I think Yubi's gonna be fine here. Ghost burned by Frost Breath, so honestly, probably a net positive for Yubi.
Yeah,
if
it's
they
good
go
job
for it.
buffering that disengage.
Oh, another kill going for Cho'Gath here. You can see the benefit of those early ganks coming in. Cho'Gath's now just running the lane. Here's 2v2 coming in over the
Nice double knockup.
Cho'Gath no
Here
R
comes
here.
Camille.
I think Mundo wins this.
Ezreal ult. Camille's inbound.
Shut down for Camille. It is a decent amount of money. The gold currently 400 gold up for Mundo, a 600 gold lead in the jungle, 400 in the mid lane.
Oh,
Just shy. That black shield, I'm not sure if the black shield was needed or if it actually absorbed that last tick of damage, it would have been a kill. Very close.
yeah, great attempt from Vandal City Bandit to squeeze some gold out for himself there. Beautiful double knockup, but the damage is
Viral
just
coming through.
too much from the Ezreal. Oh yeah, he's got Sheen, double swords, tier. He feels really good at this stage in the game.
Yeah, I think that was a greedy play from the 34th. But Mundo didn't have Cryo to show up. Heimer was still under his own tower, taking pressure from the bot lane that had moved into mid. So I would think that with that, the 501st just had numbers and they had the ability to hit quick rope there.
I think Syndra has to be careful here.
Cho'Gath does have kill pressure, but you see Zyra moving down right now, so maybe she was trying to bait Cho'Gath into something, but it looks like bot laners going back to the bot lane now that they've secured the grub. Big danger in the top lane. Not sure if the Bulwark is going to have... Oh! He just got his ult up to Mundo, so wasn't able to use that, but again, a 1-for-1, but 501st get an assist with that, so it's going to be a net positive for them. They're also going to be able to push that wave in the top lane. You see that all going basically into the ether. 34th don't get that, so I think it's a decent play for the 501st. Would have preferred not to have one guy go down, but still good.
Yeah, Frostbeth there was able to weave in a couple of Qs that cleaver tosses that had one not have hit, that kill wouldn't have been traded over.
I love Frost Breath's build right now. 3 Giants belt. Earlier he was on Mordekaiser in an earlier game and he built 3 of the masks. He's saying the passive is non-unique, so you can just build as many of them as you want. Increases your damage the longer you're in a fight.
Bot side
Level 9
and
versus
34th need to be careful here in the next couple of minutes with proximity from Briar. It looks like Vi's coming back down. He just back bot lane. That top lane is just a never-ending slugfest, it looks like.
Yeah, Frostbreath does have ulti here though. Big man, that was a huge power play. He needs the ulti here soon. Pops it. If he gets a Q and E, he might be able to dive on your tower too. Bot lane taking some damage too.
I think we could have seen a Syndra flash ult there. Heal is up on the Morgana
Ryder
though.
ulti went bot, but whiffed right between the goalposts. Again, I think Frostbreath has a dive angle here. He might just be scared from the last time that he messed up. So, you know, go for it. I think this is going to be big. I think with that next wave, he's going to get another proc off on the turret.
Oh, here comes Vi.
Oh no.
Telegraph rotated first.
Double kill.
Again,
Three
with that
for
mid
two.
cryo, I think he's just going to be able to react first to a lot of these skirmishes.
It was a great initial pick onto the Briar, but the Briar didn't go down fast enough. It's like
We
Frost
see
Breath
the,
overseas
yeah.
bluff in the top lane.
I think UB teleported behind him, and Frost Breath took the entire turret, and I mean, it's good that he got the tower, but again, losing the fight for it, probably not the best. Again, Ducks pushed the 501st off the Drake, so there's still a Drake advantage for the 34th, something that maybe they want to keep trying to stack. They're going for it again right now. So that could be a win con for them. And again, they're going to need it. They're currently 2k gold down, which isn't too bad, but I think they're going to need to start trying to get the Heimer into some of these fights. Maybe the Drakes are the way they start doing that, set up with the Heimer before these fights start. And then,
That gold is mostly on the Mundo.
yeah.
But with that tower down, he's free to kind of walk up to things like this here.
Yeah, I don't think there's much accomplished. Trying to have this might be the last one. All three. He might actually be caught out here. The old top to go around anywhere. He pops his own ult, go out. They have a lot of damage here.
I think he's big, chilling. Ah,
Goes down last
beautiful
second
ult. Nice ignite there to stop the healing. He's not quite 4v1 territory.
They do get the dragon, but they were going to get the dragon anyway. Does that hit? It does hit. I think that's Blue Sun going down there. He gets ult off micro, get a 1 for... He stops all of that Zyra damage from coming in.
Yeah, an Oblivion Orb early is really important.
Yeah, so it's basically a 2 for 0. They were going to get the Drake anyway, so I don't think Frostbest was even really buying them time necessarily. So it's just a straight a 1 for 1 objective trade and then a 2 for 0 on the side of the 501st. It is good that they get a turret out of that, but again, still down 1 or 2k gold.
Yeah, I think if the Zyra doesn't get caught there, it's a fine trade. No Title did the right thing, took bot side jungle from the 501st, and then they took bot side Cyric, but because of that extra kill, it definitely hurts.
Yeah, I don't know if Johnny Flow has a route out here. I'm curious if 501st can fight for him or not. He might leave him to die.
There's still no anti-heal. So yeah, he does die there.
Oh, I think he might have gotten
that
baited in. He's
Q-land.
barely copper. Yep. Hopefully, Kraken. Okay, Kraken should be living here. I think Frostbreath have a dive. Yeah, they do have a dive.
Yeah, it looks like he dived
He should E over the wall here. Probably didn't have it up. This is rough. They're gonna get this tower. The objective, I forget what that thing's called, is up currently, and they're pinging it right now, so they're probably going to
Rift
grab that. Yeah, that guy.
501st is taking advantage of that mid dive. They have pressure in both side lanes. And
Yeah, I
to
think
be honest, I'm not sure that the Rift Herald is worth this.
No, Rift Herald, I mean, at most is probably going to get them a tier 2 at this point, and they're losing. They just lost a tier 1 and a tier 2. Probably not worth it, especially if we see a death on their tier 5, which I think we will. We might even see. Yeah, okay. Cool. Was just a flash, but I think I see. Sister's going to go down here too. Yeah, I
Cinder
heavily
tried to go
agree.
help No Title in the Herald pit and lost her life for it. It was a very unfortunate series of events right there.
Yeah, I think trading.
It's a team game, but
Herald-
sometimes you got to play a little selfish. Mundo is holding on to life red.
He goes down, that's a 3. Heimer's gonna get taken down though, so it's 2 for 3 right now. see if Blue Stun and No Title can do anything here. Kraken has a lot of damage. I'd be scared if I was the Ducks trying to go into this without. We have Proximian coming up. He has stun. No E anymore on Ezreal. He still has flash up. He's gonna burn it here. I think he's gonna get run down though.
He could go for an execute angle if he goes far enough. Yeah.
Yeah, he should just E over into that turret in a second.
I might go to Q him,
Yeah.
but I think he's out. Yeah, he's out. Oh, he actually
did
got,
not wait long enough.
man, the burn from the Blackfire torch, I think, was probably what got him. Seemed like it would have been enough time. All right, well, we have Drake coming up in, trying to look at timers here. I don't know if I can actually see it. I don't think there's a timer here. I know Drake's coming up soon. I see it coming up, and the 34th are definitely trying to get that. It's a rough engage from Sejuani's play. I think they only thought the Heimer was there. They didn't have good vision on it. He went blind. He did a good pick. Yubi also keeping in here. A rough play. Cho'Gath is trying to punish here by going mid. He might get that tower out of it. This will be good for the 501st, but those two going down and then the third Drake going down for the 34th is definitely not something you want to see. That gold lead is staying pretty stagnant though. We've seen it about be 2k gold for the entirety of this game. So 501st maintaining a good control and pacing on the game. It's just these Drakes are something that I'm worried about having Ocean Soul, I think, for the 501st. I don't think you ever want to see a fed Mundo with Ocean Soul.
Looks like the Zyra's going for a Hextech Proto Belt. I believe those are the components for that.
See a couple fights going down in the mid lane. See the 34th getting one on support there.
Misfire ult.
Slide.
See, they're still going on this Mundo here.
They have Ignite up soon.
Got a lot of health. I'm not sure if Yubi can go in here. Doesn't that have... And they take him down.
Wow.
Again, we see the 34th pushing mid, but the 501st is going for a play on an opposite side tower up in top lane right now that Cho'Gath is. Their inhibitors here at the tower. As we get engaged on though. Black Shield coming out, it's good.
Syndra stun doesn't land.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like the feed is stalled.
Give me one
Yep.
second. I'm gonna try and see if I can get this.
Stalled for me as well.
We should be back in now. Unfortunately, we are about 8 minutes ahead of where we were previously. There was a spectator bug that we ran into, and so we had to go back into the game manually. But as you can see here, there's been still the same gold lead for the 501st, 2k gold up for them. As you can see for towers, both of the inhib towers for the 34th were taken. Not sure exactly how that came about, but you see both of those down. Dragon as well for the 501st. So still looking at soul point for the 34th here, and I'm assuming it's going to be a really big fight coming out here. As you can already see, Briar ulti coming out, whiffing on the Syndra. But everyone positioning right now, trying to get some wars and vision for this dragon.
Yeah, a couple items came through in the break. Looks like the Mundo picked up a Bramble Vest. This will be crucial to deal with this Briar moving forward. And the Heimer's got his stopwatch too, so.
Yeah, it looks like 34th has the vision advantage right now. They also have Baron as well, good to note. But the 501st is pinging the crap out of their base right now. So I think they're not trying to contest the Drake. They might just try and go for a 50-50 and split push right now. As you can already see them on inhibs. Heimer back to try and protect the base. But as you see, the 34th is already taking this Drake. Likely about to go down. Drake goes down, as you can see. Heimer also defending top lane. But as you can see, the 501st pushing in. They're about to get double inhibs now. As you can see, a TP coming in from the Mundo, coming down here. They are going to secure both of those inhibs.
Yeah, he just ulted Heimerdinger's ult turret.
Yeah, as you can see, Briar here got a ulti on the Zyra, but unable to finish her off, so he's going to go down.
A ton of anti-healing on the 34th now.
Yep. The shutdown went over on that Briar death too.
Yeah. UB going down as well. I would say fortunately for the 501st though, the only thing they can get here is Otacon. There's no primary objectives. There's no Baron or Elder or anything, so they should be able to recoup. The gold again is still even, so they should be able to still hold their own in fights against the 34th, but that Mundo, man.
Yeah, a couple things that led up to that whole sequence was the vision was stronger on the side of 34th, and when UB tried to go around and get a flank on, he got sniffed out. So once he got pushed out from providing a good flank to make that team fight for Dragon, they had to make a call to either fight for Dragon with worse vision or try and trade base for the Dragon and the Soul. And that's kind of what the decision was made, and so they sacked that Dragon, and now here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I think if the Heimer didn't back, it could have been a really... I mean, they could have won the game if Heimer didn't back in time. So it could have been a good decision that was just 34th kind of sniffed out a little bit, or I'm not really 100% sure, but...
Ezreal is doing absolutely zero damage to the Mundo.
Yeah.
Good anti-healing and a Bork on the Camille, but the level difference is just too big. Level 18 Mundo, even the bot lane is out-leveling the blue side bot lane.
Yeah, I think that Ocean Soul is...
So, 501st is doing the split again. They've got two members going through bot lane to get that last inhib while the rest of the team fights and tries to fend off.
See, I think the Ezreal's probably going to try and stop some backs here, but you'll see TP coming in already from the Heimerdinger. 501st has to back off. You'll get about half of that turret's health. And then I think it's going to be the 34th pushing down here in the mid lane, trying to see if they can get an inhib tower. Just tanking the towers right now.
A big Syndra stun and Zyra follow up.
That's good again. Mundo going back to full health, but there's a Vi already down after going in. They do kill the Morgana though, so support for jungle right now. UB goes in trying to get on the back line and unfortunately gets picked off, so a 2-for-1 right now. A 3-for-1 actually. Sejuani's flail had gone down earlier.
501st kind of forced an engage into the teeth of the 34th there. They took multiple CC straight to the face.
There was also a 5v4 with Heimerdinger in the bot side that whole fight. 5v4.
Briar was still dead.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it was a 4v4.
Yeah, see here. This Baron should be free, but I mean the only thing that really is stopping them right now is the Cho'Gath possibly going in and getting something, but they're chasing him down right now. As the Briar ult is also going to whiff now that they're chasing down this Mundo and they're off to the Baron. Or they're chasing down the Cho'Gath. It's a huge Cho'Gath, but I don't think there's not a lot he can do there. They're just going to re-engage on this Baron. See, the 501st currently, they might be trying 50-50 for it. Get Briar into good position to be able to try and steal it, but I think they're just going to give it up.
Yeah, their vision is choked out, and they don't have the means to get pressure on either of the side lanes to challenge. So Baron goes over the 34th.
We see the 34th back in, getting some items. Getting gold
Corporate
here.
Mundo cruising in his car.
Yeah, gold here. Again, a 4K gold lead for the 3K really for the Mundo. 2K up for the Briar, and a K now up for the Heimerdinger. Syndra up only about 200 gold, and then 3K for the Zyra. So again, there's still a lot of that gold sitting on the Mundo. As you can see, 34th posturing right now to get vision and word control over the Elder Drake, which is about to spawn. I think this might be the Yubi just got his back interrupted, and it's gonna go down there.
That's unfortunate. He wanted to save the TP, but had he used the TP to get out, he would have been able to make it.
Yeah, that was a blind VIQ as well. They didn't have vision there. They just knew he was trying to back there. So a good Q and interrupt from No Title. Again, still posturing over this. I don't think the 501st wins this team fight, but I do think that a steal from Briar is good enough. Elder is a huge buff, so just being able to steal that, I think, would be really good for them. As we see the 501st now trying to split push again, and the Heimerdinger sent back to try and defend against it.
I think they're going to need Mundo to stop the two of these guys.
The Briar goes in here. Breaks down to 3K, 2K. Possibility for a steal here. As the Vi gets the Drake right as Briar goes down. They get the double kill. We see Mundo, or Cho'Gath has already gone down in the mid lane as they're chasing down Ezreal here too. We have pretty big death timers, but I don't know if the 34th can end the game.
Syndra
damage. That might be it. I think if they group your mid lane, they could end the game. Looks like they go through bot.
20 stacks on the Magi's.
Yep. I don't think there's much, even when Cho'Gath and Ezreal come back, I don't think there's much they're going to be able to do against it. There we have it. GG's for the 34th IS Ducks, taking first place over the league.
Yeah, we missed a chunk in the middle of the game, and I think in that 7-8 minute stretch, the 501st made some good moves, but by the time we came back, all the anti-heal came through, and that did a number.
Yeah, I think that that Mundo was. Yeah. You said it. I think you said it in the very beginning once, lady, that you don't know how they were going to deal with the Mundo really, and I think that that was the main problem. It seemed like there wasn't a lot they could do in Mundo to just kind of front line, which I think enabled the 34th to get a lot of vision and ward prio, so that they could set up for these Drakes and Elders and Barons.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the 34th had an answer for any type of engage by Briar or Camille, whether that was the Zyra plants and counter CC or the Heimer. And by answering that, Mundo was able to just trade with the Vi and go into the back line and wreak havoc.
Yeah.
But it was a well-played game on both sides. Sejuani's flail was all over the map on Briar this game, making a lot of really great plays. But at the end of the day, only one team can win, right?
Yeah, I would say in general the 501st early game was, I think, going well across the board. Briar had really good ganks. Their bot lane was winning. I would say solo. They had that one engage from Ezreal. I mean, even level 2 Ezreal went in and chunked them pretty hard, but then Ezreal even had the solo kill on the bot lane. Cho'Gath was doing really great after the Briar ganks, and we even saw Yubi transitioning a lot of his pressure into a gank mid, and then even getting a kill on the Mundo in the top lane. So I think a lot of early game success from the 501st, but I think that they just needed to be able to transition that into the mid game and the late game a little bit better. And so maybe if they work on that macro a little bit, I think those are some really good advantages that if they have that consistently in the tournament coming up this weekend, that maybe they take it all. But
Yeah, I think there are a lot of lessons learned too. A couple mid ganks that didn't have to happen, didn't have to end in a death for the 34th, and then a couple ganks down bot lane. And if the 34th were to clean up some of that early game, then yeah, they would be an almost impeccable game from them. They had a great draft. There's just no one to answer to the Mundo. There's no, I mean, maybe a Vayne or some kind of mage with great burn potential. But yeah, it was a really close game for the most part. The gold lead never went too crazy until the end there.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a very highly anticipated game, and it's very well played by both teams.
Yeah, and with that, again, the Ducks are going to take the first place, so they're going to be sitting with not really a bye, but they're going to be playing against the winner of the bottom two teams currently in the league, and then the 501st will now go head-to-head against the 29th coming up. But with this game, is there anybody, for the interview, is there anybody you guys would like to pull up here and talk to?
Maybe anyone who wants to, I guess. Maybe Yubi or Frostbreath. Anyone who wants to.
Well, I think I would like to hear from either Vandal City or Praxidium to see from their perspective. Because playing Syndra and bot lane isn't something you get to do every day, and I think there was a struggle in the early game, but then they flipped a switch, so I think it would be cool to listen to that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can get Praxidium in here. I have a feeling Vandal City's probably already out. But give me 1 second. Yeah, can one of you guys go down into there and pull up Praxidium real quick?
I don't have the ability to do that.
Hey guys, I will send Kenny up right now, okay?
All right,
All right,
awesome.
Thank
sweet.
you.
Hey, Praxidium.
Hello.
Hello.
Great game.
Thank you.
Yeah, how does it feel being first seed of the Fort Meade Cup?
It's pretty exciting. I think last year I was on a team and we did not do very well at all. And so this is a very exciting change of pace.
I mean, I guess then, why do you think that is? Do you think you guys just team clicked a little bit better this year, more practice, or a lot of improvement, I guess, for like self growth or anything like that?
I think it's a little bit of all of that. We're definitely practicing more, and I think we're talking about the game more to figure out like how to approach it. And I've put in a lot of time and have seen a lot of improvement over the past few weeks to try and play well in these games.
So I'm curious why no Swain this game?
The Swain was, the biggest concern I have about picking Swain is being outranged, because that's always been my biggest struggle with him, and the Morgana Ezreal just looked very, very hard to reach with his grab, so
Absolutely.
I didn't want to be chasing them too much.
So speaking of the Morgana Ezreal, it kind of looked like the early few minutes in the game felt a little rough, maybe for you. When did that switch, and when did you feel like you were enabled to kind of like be more aggressive?
It was very challenging in the beginning, and the biggest switch happened, or the shift of that happened when they sent Cho'Gath bot, to catch the waves, that let me get to my first upgrade, and from there it just laning and farming just got infinitely easier once I had 2 Qs, and I was able to get my passive much more quickly after that.
Yeah, I was curious about. So, I'm curious about the Syndra pick in general. Kind of, I guess, preferring not to play AD carry and going for the AP carry without having an AD carry or an AD champ in the mid lane. But I was also curious. I mean, across the board, I think there was a lot of early game pressure being put on by the 501st. They were kind of winning almost every lane in the first about 10 minutes of the game. But did you guys feel pressured throughout there, or were you guys pretty cool and collected? It seemed like you guys were stacking Drakes really well. You were playing macro pretty well. So how did it feel in the game, or at least did you feel really pressured to make plays or to do anything, or did you kind of have a good? Did you have your head on your your shoulders pretty well throughout the entire game?
At first, I definitely felt a bit of pressure around when the grubs were happening. I think there was a fight there that went poorly, and pressure started to build from that. But in our comms, we kind of said that if we're able to get to later in the game, that it'll get a lot easier. So we don't need to really sweat about getting the early objectives, or even if we give up the feats of strength, then if we haven't given up too much of the map or gold, then we can still recover from it.
Okay, so not really too much, I guess, pressure from them on you guys, but otherwise, was dragon stacking one of your guys' main priorities, or was it something that you kind of came into the game of like, this is something that we need to do in order to beat out this team, or was it just kind of how the game played out? You guys had a lot of prio in that area, and you just played around it.
It was definitely more happenstance. We weren't deliberately going into it thinking we needed to stack Drakes, but again, after the first grub fight, we got the I can't remember when exactly we got the first dragon, but I think around the second set of grubs we got the second dragon around then, and I at least was aware at that point that playing for Dragon Soul could be a big win condition for us. But before that, I think it was just happenstance that we had prio bot, or we had spotted their jungler top and just took advantage to get the dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it was a great game. I thought you did very well. The whole bot lane did, dealing with the early pressure and then rebounding.
Yeah, throughout the game they were great. Syndra E's there, and then the Zyra multi-man ults. Even in losing fights, you guys still, landed your CC very well.
So one question leading up to the tournament: do you have any other pocket picks that you're saving, or are you just going to ride out the old faithful, what you've already shown us so far?
If you look at my highest mastery, I don't think he's the highest anymore, but I'm pretty high mastery on Aatrox, so you might want to look out for my Aatrox.
Oh, Aatrox bot lane. All right.
Little Aatrox Darius spot lane.
Yeah, I'm curious about Fearless in general. I mean, across the league, I know that we're a very amateur league, and right, so like a lot of people don't have an insane champion pool. So do you guys have any worries about Fearless coming in with like a lot of champion picks, kind of you getting pushed to your third, fourth, or fifth best champ? Or do you also have some, maybe some vision on like who to attack in other teams because of these champ pool issues?
There are some concerns I think my biggest concern is jungle, because if a game goes to 3 games, then it can be it's pretty clear what we favor in the jungle, so it can be pretty easy to push us off of that. And I haven't I haven't personally been looking at the other teams yet
Okay.
in regards to Fearless, so I don't know if there's anything to pinpoint yet, but I'll definitely be looking at that over the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's first place. In first place, you don't really need to worry about what other teams play, right? You just play your own game and let them try and beat you.
Yeah, that's the hope at least.
All right. Well, great games today. Again, I think from all of us here, it was fun to watch. You guys, I think, have been pretty untiltable this entire season. It seems like we've had a lot of games that have been going kind of flip floppy, and it always seems like you guys pull ahead. So, good job with that, and good luck with the tournament coming up this weekend.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, thanks. And looking forward, the tournament starts this Saturday, the 19th, at 1800 with Stocks in the Shower versus the 94th IS.
Yep,
Yes.
our first best of 3 game. So it's going to go from anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours. 94th in the Sox in the Shower fighting to stay alive in the playoffs. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you guys want to tune in then, we will be around. And thanks for listening. And if you guys have any feedback or anything like that, obviously, I know there were some issues today. It was my first time streaming. So if there's any issues like that, feel free to kind of just post it in the chat and let us know. And we'll try and make adjustments and do our best to give you guys a decent product. Hopefully good, but at least decent. But with that, yeah, please join us this weekend for the tournament. And that will be it from us. Later.